How do you answer? If it's a staff question.
If it's a staff question,
Whatever it may have. You know, the comment down there. So I tried to call it this afternoon, but I appreciate it. Is he still home? So he may be out watching it. Sure he's
somebody told me his grandson got his
no wrong.
Clay. He was up at school, and he's in college. He's on scholarship, sports scholarship, and they were having a snowball fight, and he got hit with the
Got the contact information.
Can you read that? Can you?
Book the order. It's a neat thing.
Yeah, that's my congressional point. What's up there?
Position up in our phone. That one there.
No, right there. Inside there.
Are you mayor tonight?
Yes.
Oh, great. Who's going to kick you? Where'd you find out? They out of town.
We got busy with
Well, at least you have to know. It's a popular. I'll grab my name.
Call the meeting to order. May we pray. Father, we thank you for the many blessings that you've bestowed upon this community. We thank you for each family that's represented here this evening. We thank you for this council. We pray that you would guide our deliberations this evening as we strive to make decisions for the betterment of the entire community. For it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All council members are present. Let the record reflect that the mayor is out of town I am presiding as vice mayor this evening. We have a quorum and we're ready to conduct business. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Ms. Dixon, second by Mr. Little. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is approval of consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Scott,
Second.
second by Ms. Malcolm. All in favor? Say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have, next item is a public presentation, employee recognition for Lieutenant Dykes, Chief Class.
Tonight I am honored to bring you greetings from the United States Senate, Mr. Andrew Dykes. Lieutenant, if you would come up here, firefighter, if you would line up down here. You got some more out there? They want to come in here. All right, greetings from the United States Senate, Mr. Andrew M. Dykes, Lieutenant Monroe Fire Department. Dear Lieutenant Dykes, it is with great pleasure I send my heartiest congratulations to you upon the successful completing of the Executive Fire Officer Program. This program is known for providing fire service officers with the expertise needed to succeed in today's challenging environment, and I commend you. I know your family and friends are very proud that you're being recognized for achieving this goal, and the residents of Monroe are the beneficiaries of your commitment to your profession. The completion of this program reflects the hard work and dedication put forth by you and all others that place a high regard on the safety of Georgia's residents. You have touched the lives of many in a positive way, and the people of our state owe you our gratitude. Thank you for your service. With warmest regards, personal regards, Senator Johnny Isaacson. I'm going to ask our city attorney, Paul Rosenthal, to read your actual diploma. And please note that this comes through Congress, so this is a great achievement. And I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of the fire services in the city of Monroe. And, sir, if you would.
This is from the United States Fire Administration, the National Fire Academy. In recognition of successful completion of the requisite courses of study and applied research project, the National Fire Academy, under the authority granted by the 111th Congress of the United States of America, and on recommendation of the faculty, confers the title of Executive Fire Officer upon Andrew M. Dykes, with all honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
You know, my congratulations. We're going to do, you like it? Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor, and thank the ordinance for allowing us this time, but that's just quite an achievement. And, you know, on the law enforcement side, that would be the equivalent of graduating the National Academy at the FBI. So it's a great honor to be able to participate in this, and just want to say that we're very proud of it. We appreciate the job you do for the citizens of Monroe, Georgia. And I personally appreciate the help you've been to me as the whole staff has in the last 6 or 7 months. So, Ms. Queen, pretty Marshall. They probably want to take a picture out there with the fire truck stuff.
Okay.
Mr. Vice Mayor, at this time, that ends our part. We'll get these folks out of your way. And
On behalf of the mayor and council, I'd just like to say congratulations, Andrew. That's quite an achievement. We're real proud of you.
Thanks again, Andrew.
Okay, moves us into public comments. As I call your name, you can come to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes. The attorneys will keep time. Aaron Giles. Aaron Giles.
Aaron Giles.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Aaron Giles, 171 Elizabeth Drive.
hold it down where all these comments can be heard and respect everybody talking, okay? Really appreciate that.
171 Elizabeth Drive, Monroe, Georgia, 30655. Is it okay to begin?
Yeah.
Okay. I am here on behalf of all of the citizens of Walton County, the people of the community of Monroe, Georgia, within the city limits, and also the customers of Monroe Utility Company. The people are very upset and outraged about their utility bills and the things that's been happening with all the increases and the unreasonable billing practices. We believe that Monroe Utilities is corrupt. We come to ask the City Council to have Monroe Utilities audited to reveal what their practices actually are. And if there is corruption, we are asking that they be corrected. I have a letter here for each council member and what we're asking for. Should I read the letter?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Your 3 minutes, whatever.
Okay. I apologize in advance because I am disabled and I have very low vision, so I have to use my lens. My glasses are not working. Okay? It is with deep concern and reticence that we must address the council. Long before the rate increase notice of February 2014, many customers of Monroe Utilities had been experiencing exorbitant prices and unexplained causes for the crippling increases. Although the notice did give a small explanation for the reason for the rising cost of system operations increases. Although the notice, the reference that the rates are still among the lowest in the area is unmerited, because there are no other utility companies in the area to compare prices, give competitive rates, or offer options to energy users. It is for this reason we are led to believe the monopoly that Monroe Utilities have on customers living within city limits has allowed them to engage in price gouging and other unethical practices that are putting the people of Monroe at a disadvantage. The rate increase notice of February 2014 only listed rates for water, sewage, and gas. There were no rates for electricity, which is the one utility product that has been increasing for some by 50 to 70% monthly. Many have taken careful and calculated steps to conserve energy. The most obvious of these is less usage in the home, but prices even still continue to rise. This is the unexplained, excuse me?
That's 3 minutes time.
Oh, sorry. Well, I have a copy for each council member.
You can hand those out.
And I also have a petition that has been signed by everyone here, and some of those weren't able to make it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Okay, and this is the petition.
Melvin Knox.
Melvin Knox.
Good evening. Good evening. How you? I'm Melvin Knox. I live at 501 Chestnut Lane, Monroe, Georgia. I just got a few things that I know by being a citizen of Walton County and a customer of Monroe Utilities. I guess I can't speak for everybody else, but I think everybody else is in the same predicament I am in. Utility rates just got out of hand. I mean, you know, I've been with this utility company in the city ever since day one. All of a sudden, We just come out of a bad recession or whatever you want to call it. And next thing you know, we got a rate increase on everything that has to do with Monroe utility. It don't make sense at all. So what I'm trying to say, we need to find out or do something about it. I know y'all got your own thing to run, system to take care of. What really puzzles me is why you want to dump all this stuff on it at one time. That's what got me. I mean, it don't make sense. I mean, you can. You know, gradually raise the rates or whatever you want to do. It'd have been a better thing to get where we want to go. But all of a sudden, I look for the rate increase of the utility bill right after Christmas because we got Christmas lights and all that stuff has be taken care of. But after Christmas, after they take them down, and get into the summer months, they still high. You know, it don't make sense at all. But we need to know as a citizen and citizen, regardless, all back behind me, we need to know what can be done to try to alleviate some of this high utility rates. And I think it. Oh. If y'all sit down and put your heads together, I believe you can come up with some kind of answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mott. Ben Reed.
My name is Ben D. Reed, 1024 Tall Oak Lane, Monroe, Georgia, 30655 770-267-356. I'm just here to just, make my voice, to be heard. Where I live at 1024 Tall Oak Lane, which no one be at home as much. And so I just, want to know why, my light bill as it is. See, I listen to Clark Howard, and he tell me how to adjust my energy rates and stuff like that. So I try to go by a certain rates and stuff, and I just want to know, why my light bills be as it is. I speak for a lot of people here. That's why we got a full house tonight. Just, like everyone is concerned. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. John Johnson.
Hi, everybody doing? My name is John Johnson, 617A Maple Street, Monroe, Georgia, 30656. I'm speaking on a well, everybody here gonna speak about the high utility bill. What I'm speaking about is why when the bill come out, the due date is in the same month. The majority of these folks is on SSI, disability, you know what I'm saying? And why can't it be the next month, like the 3rd, the 4th? They bring it out in the same month. So if they get their check on the first, they automatically gonna be late. Anything over $500 or $600, you talk about $30 late fee. You know, and I think that's ridiculous. You know, very ridiculous. I don't know how they come about that 5%. That 5% on 100. You know, so you're talking about $5 on 100, and that's $30. That's $30. If anybody, some bills sell them $800. And you know, and if you look among you, you got all these elderly folks. They get you know, they get disability. You know, they check coming on the first and the third. The utility people know that. You know, I think they should push it up. You know, but you're gonna hear a lot more about the high bill. You know, I'm just complaining right now about the due date. The due date is in the same month that the bill come out, and that shouldn't be. You know, and that's all I have to say right now.
Thank you. Mary Robinson.
My name is Mary Robinson. I stay on 1308 Armstead Circle. I'm 71 years old. I don't get but $740-something a month, and I can't afford that light bill. It's a lot of elder peoples back there. It's in my shoes. What you gonna eat? How you gonna eat? If it take to pay your light bill, what you gonna eat with? The food stamp people don't give you nothing. I get $24 a month. How can I live off of $24? I have other bills. Not only my light bill. I have other bills. I have my furniture bill. I have gotta buy food. I got bills to pay. And I can't afford to pay a heavy light bill and eat and try to keep it going. I can't do it. And I can't do that. Not off of $700 a month. And it's more elder people back here older than I am. Ain't no way in this world. They got kids. How their kids gonna eat? Ain't no lights. Ain't nothing to cook on. God in heaven knows that don't make no sense. God is here. God is here. Y'all better think. Y'all better think. God. Is coming back to this world. And there's gonna be a lot of things that he ain't gonna like. And I thank God every day for my life. Because I don't have to be here. He can take me away tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Norman Garrett.
Hey, I'm Norman Garrett at 1244 South Madison Street, 3065. But I don't think I had to actually tell y'all the reason we're here. We've been pushing this light bill thing going on 2 years. We come in here a year today, a year ago. Y'all had us thinking that y'all were actually helping us when you were actually call yourself pacifying us for a few seconds with that extended bill, partial payment or whatever you want to call it. Now it might help a percentage of people, but I bet it less than 5%. And then at the same time, you turn right around and went in a closed session and raised the cable bill. And that's illegal, and I know that for a fact. We down here tonight because we tired of all of this foolishness that going on with the utility company. Now, all of y'all looking like you really listening, but this ain't y'all first time seeing me. You looked the same way a year ago and didn't do nothing about it. Now, it shouldn't take for us to come down here every time we want to challenge these bills. But what we got to understand is everybody here, we're going to have to come down here for them. Actually do something about it. That's the reason we're here today. All this nonsense y'all got raising the interest rate, the late fees 5%. For the ones that don't know, that 5% is not $5. That's 5% of whatever your bill is. And on the average, them bills don't went up from $10 to $20 to $30 to $40 late fee. If you can't pay a $600 light bill, how you gonna pay a $660 light bill? See, some of this stuff don't make sense for us to come down here and challenge. Every time y'all decide you want to be reckless and just do what you want to do. But one thing we got to do, we got to start holding these city councilmen accountable. They need to be accountable for the actions that. And a lot of people upset about the salary that some of these people make. Because I know the salary is high. And I know they're extremely high. But don't take money out of my family pocket just to put it in one or two people's pocket. It don't make sense. And like I've been telling these people, and I'll tell them again, you need somebody on this board that's going to actually fight for you. And what I'm looking at now, you ain't going to get it. We're actually asking y'all to sit down and let's come to some kind of understanding. Because the recklessness that y'all actually playing out with, sooner or later it's going to come to a head. And we got some plans for the head that it's going to come to. We need to sit down, come up with some real solution, not with somebody that say, you know what, I want to raise this 5% and everybody throw their hands up like it's fine with me. It ain't fine when you got these elderly people on fixed income making $600, $700, $800 when your light bill is more than what their checks are. That's a problem. Now that's my time, but I can assure you, until these light bill change.
Please be quiet. Where the speaker can be heard, okay?
That's 3 minutes.
Everybody else can be heard.
Thank you, and I will be back next month until these bills change.
Celia Boyce.
Come on, look, respect whoever the speaker is, let them have their voice, okay? Yes, sir. Please do that, thank you.
How y'all doing this evening? Good. Well, I come out here this afternoon, to speak my little old word or two. But what it is, I was telling people that, The main thing it is, what we need to do, we need to look to Jesus, because Jesus is the man. You know, you look to God before you look to man. But cause God gonna take care of his own, y'all. But what I'm speaking now, it don't make no sense for a whole lot of raising sand and going on, and I'm not gonna do it. Cause I was brought up in a church from a little bitty baby, and my mama taught me well. I didn't come out here to raise sand, I didn't come out here to fuss. Because hear what I'm saying now. Like I was telling some people.
Respect the speaker, please.
Like I was telling some people. Now, every year, not gonna be the same. Everything changed. And if you keep living, you're gonna see the change. Every year don't be the same. But I know for a fact myself that in December it was cold, but y'all know last year it was no cold in no December. Okay, we'll start getting cold in December, January, February, all that ice and snow. It was cold now. December, January, February, March. And March ain't going out yet. We're going to get some more chilly days. And then April going to be kind of chilly. But what I'm speaking about now, on the behalf of myself, with the income, and with myself, my 5 sons, they got their responsibility to take care of their little old situation with their home and their family, their children, their wife or whatever. And me, my husband been dead for years, and then the thing about it, what I have to do, I have to pinch out the money that I get to do the best I can. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing the best I can on what I did. I wish that I was getting a little bit more. But what he talking about the light bill, then like I told the light people, I said when they send out me a card, when they send out my light card, let it stay in one place. Let it stay in one extension. Don't keep on raising it. It's raising it. You know, they let it stay in one place. When somebody doing the best they can and try to live off of that, because you got to eat, you got to do this, and you got to do that. But I'm saying right here now that it need to drop it a little bit. Because we're doing the best we can. And then the food stamp, the children got to eat, and I eat 2 of them stamps. And they keep on chopping and cutting on them. So we got to make it some kind of way. And that's what we down here for them to kind of lower it a little bit. You know, they lower it a little bit, and you know we'll be all right. Because it is instead of getting lower, they going up. And I'm doing the best I can with myself, okay? So y'all have a blessed day, and God love you. Thank you.
Rebecca Hardy.
Yes, sir. I'm Rebecca Hardy. I live at 439 Springdale Road, Monroe, 30655. I want to complain about the bills just like everybody else is complaining about them. Also, the salaries that some of them is making here is a whole lot more than should be. And another thing, everybody with the city's got a car to ride around in. Why? Mr. Chancey, I'll talk to you one day this week.
Thank you. Alice Dean Porter. Alice Porter. Alice Porter.
I am Alice Porter at 211 Saw Street, Apartment A, Monroe, 30655. What talking about like everybody else. We cannot afford these prices that y'all setting over here, charging us. You know you're not giving us any money, not just a little bit to live on, and we trying to make it on that. And then the cable, one more $50 on the cable. I told that woman, I don't know who she was, they're gonna tell you the name. I told her, I said, I'm not able to pay my $50. The utility for the last 3 months, I've been paying $200 and $300. What y'all need to do, if you're going to get all our approval. If we don't prove it, leave it where it's at. That's where I feel. And if y'all want to do anything, tell them to stop going down on our food stamp. We got to eat, we got to pay our bills. Some of them is so heavy. The little one I have, I am able to pay for, you know, what I need to pay. But the bill is still up too high. And right now, see, I was paying the cable all right. They went up a little while ago. All right. Well, they didn't go up too much. That was going to be the whole thing. And so they told me they wanted $50. So I told her, I asked the woman, I said, well, cut mine down to half price. If everybody go down, and see, they just only giving me 02 to 23. They took all my moving the things off. I'm just sitting there. I have a DVD. I look at my tapes. Thing. That's the only way I can get it. And the reason I, don't want to pay it because they put I Love Lucy, How I Met Your Mama, and the Walter, they're not giving us anything new. And I told them about it. Lucille been dead I don't know how many years. Y'all keep putting it on, and I don't want it. And I do not look at it when she comes home. I'm twisted. I'm turning the button. Now I don't have nowhere to turn because, and they said I'll be paying about $16 a month. I'm gonna keep y'all to that promise. If it any more, I'm coming back down here and I am going to have this y'all face to face. Well, you know what? I don't need all of them to talk to me. I'm able enough to talk to myself because y'all the one putting the bill on me, on them too. If, and, and the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I want them to. And the reason I, want to pay $50, I don't want to pay $50 on me. I
3 minutes.
I said, huh?
Your time's up.
That's 3 minutes.
Your time's up.
If we don't have a 3 minutes, see that? Y'all ruining everything.
LaQuetta Williams.
My name is LaQuetta Williams, and I stay at 419 Maple Lane. And I want to know why we have a ridiculous light bill. Because our light bill is too high, and some of us on fixed income, like everybody's saying, our light bill is more than our rent. So how some folks won't stay in their house if they got a ridiculous light bill? And then how sometimes we think that the people y'all send out to read these meters, I don't think they be reading. Because sometimes I get a light bill before my other light bill is paid. And how they gonna know? What our light bill is before the other one paid. That's ridiculous. Yeah, everything going up, but where the money going? If we paying for the stuff y'all having us to see in town or somewhere, we would like to know just where all this money going that we paying up on our light bill. Cause if we pay that high light bill, how we gonna live? Like they say, how we gonna eat? How we gonna feed our children? How can we take our children where they wanna go? Buy them what they need? That's crazy. And I'm living on fixed income. I ain't got it like that. If I start paying my light bill, then we'll be in the dark. So that's all I had to say. I want to be here.
Next item on the agenda is a resolution for the 2013 budget amendment. You taking that?
This is just a formality, end of the year.
Excuse me just a second. If you want to leave, if you have public comments, you're welcome to leave. But if you're going to stay here, you're going to have to be quiet while they hear business going on, okay? Thank you so very much. If you want to leave this time, if you want to stay that time. Please respect the folks as they take care of the business.
She says it's a matter of education. She said she was just here, she told me he could sit. That Cindy, why Cindy looked like
Somebody else wants to leave and have time to do something, okay? Stay here, just respect the business of the okay?
Okay, Mr. Rosenthal. Let's have order in the chamber, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe Ms. Prather, Finance Director, wanted to address the budget resolution, amended budget resolution before I read it.
Yes, this is just basic housekeeping after our external audit was conducted, just to realign some of the line items. There was no increase in the budget.
Okay.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This is an amended budget resolution. This is a resolution adopting the 2013 budget revisions for the City of Monroe, Georgia, appropriating revised amounts as shown in each budget as expenditures, adopting the revised revenue projections, and prohibiting expenditures to exceed appropriations. Now be it resolved by the Mayor and the City Council of the City of Monroe, Georgia as follows. Whereas, for the purpose of financing the conduct of affairs of the City of Monroe during the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2013 and ending December 31, 2013, the revised budget of the city's revenues and expenditures for such period as prepared and submitted to the City Council by the City Administrator and so attached and so approved by the Mayor and City Council. Whereas the amounts listed are the appropriations and transfers so authorized by the Mayor and the City Council and are approved for the amounts and purposes so indicated. Be it further resolved that the expenditures shall not exceed the appropriations authorized by this budget, and that the expenditures for the fiscal year shall not exceed funding available. So adopted by the Mayor and City Council of the City of Monroe this 11th day of March 2014. That is the amended budget resolution, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. We need a motion to adopt this resolution.
Move to approve the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Little. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Dixon. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a resolution for Georgia Cities Week, April 13 through 19, 2014.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This is a resolution of the City of Monroe recognizing Georgia Cities Week of April 13th to 19th, 2014, and encouraging all citizens to support the celebration and corresponding activities. Whereas city government is the closest to most citizens and the one with the most direct daily impact upon its residents. And whereas city government is administered for and by its citizens and is dependent upon public commitment to and understanding of its many responsibilities. And whereas city government officials and employees share the responsibility to pass along their understanding of public services and their benefits. And whereas Georgia Cities Week is a very important time to recognize the important role played by city government in our lives. And whereas this week offers an important opportunity to spread the word to all the citizens of Georgia that they can shape and influence this branch of government which is closest to the people. And whereas the Georgia Municipal Association and its member cities have joined together to teach students and other citizens about municipal government through a variety of different projects and information. And whereas Georgia Cities Week offers an important opportunity to convey to all the citizens of Georgia that they can shape and influence government through their civic involvement. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of Monroe declares April 13th through 19th, 2014 as Georgia Cities Week. Be it further resolved that the City of Monroe encourages all citizens, city government officials, and employees to do everything possible to ensure that this week is recognized and celebrated accordingly. So passed and adopted this 11th day of March 2014 by the Mayor and Council. That is the resolution, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. I need a motion to adopt this resolution.
Move to accept this resolution.
Motion by Ms. Scott,
Second.
second by Mr. Purvis. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the second reading of the Domestic Animals Ordinance Amendment.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, this is an ordinance to amend the code of the City of Monroe, Georgia with respect to animals and for other purposes. The Mayor and the Council of the City of Monroe, Georgia hereby ordain as follows. Article 1. The code of the City of Monroe is hereby amended by deleting Article 2, Sections 1043 through 1045 in their entirety and substituting the following in lieu thereof. Section 1043, keeping domestic animals under control. Sub A. It shall be unlawful for any owner of a domestic animal not to control the animal at all times through one of the following means. Sub 1, on a leash when off property of the owner. Sub 2, within the passenger area of a vehicle driven or parked on the streets. Sub 3, within the property limits of its owner and attended by its owner. Or Sub 4, confined within the property limits of its owner or of another with the permission of the person in control of the property. Confined means in a building, pen, or fenced area or other structure built to prevent intrusion or escape by any dog. Sub B, it shall be unlawful for any owner of a domestic animal to chain, tie, fasten, or otherwise tether the animal to dog houses, trees, fences, vehicles, or other stationary objects as a mean of confinement, except that the animal may be temporarily confined by a tether while attended by its owner. Section 1044, specific requirements for confinement. It shall be an offense for any owner of a domestic animal not to satisfy the following requirements. Sub A, any tether used to temporarily confine an animal while attended by its owner must be attached to a collar or harness and shall not be wrapped directly around the animal's neck. Such tether shall not be excessively heavy or weighted so as to inhibit the animal's movement. Sub B, all domestic animals shall be provided with sanitary shelter from the elements. Said shelter shall be designed, constructed, and maintained to protect the animal from rain, snow, ice, excessive cold, excessive heat, and excessive direct sunlight, and of a size to allow the animal sufficient space to stand, turn around, and lie down, and make all other normal body movements in a normal and comfortable position appropriate to the age, size, and health of the animal. Examples of inadequate shelter include, but are not limited to, lean-tos, metal or plastic drums, boxes, vehicles, or the area on or beneath exposed porches or decks. Nothing in the subsection shall be construed to prevent the transportation and temporary confinement of a domestic animal within the passenger area of a vehicle, provided that the animal is provided adequate ventilation and temperature control in order to protect the animal from excessive heat or cold. Sub C, all domestic animals shall be provided with clean, potable water at all times. Sub D, an owner must promptly remove and dispose of animal excrement and food wastes and debris so as to minimize vermin infestation, contamination, odors, and disease hazards. Sub E, all domestic animals shall be provided with a safe sanitary confinement area constructed to confine the animal, to protect the animal from injury, and of a sufficient space to allow for adequate exercise suitable to the age, size, species, and breed of animal. The area shall have a means to rapidly eliminate excess water and minimize mud. Section 1045, prohibitions for domestic animals. It shall be unlawful for any person to permit a domestic animal under his or her ownership or possession to do the following. Sub A, go upon the property of another person other than its owner or keeper without the express consent of such other owner or occupant. Sub B, attack or act so as to menace pedestrians or other persons using public ways or on the property of another. Pending adjudication for any citation for a violation of this subparagraph sub B, the person cited shall be required to maintain the dog in a proper enclosure as defined in this chapter. Any person convicted of violating this subsection, in addition to penalties as provided for in section 1063, shall be required to maintain the dog in a proper enclosure as defined in this chapter. Sub C, disturb the peace of any other person by loud, persistent, habitual barking, howling, growling, yelping, or whining. No person shall be charged with violating this subsection unless written warning has previously been issued within 90 days of the charged violation. No citation for violation of this subsection shall be issued unless there are at least 2 complaining witnesses who shall have signed a written statement stating the address of the dog owner, description of the dog and of the offense, and the date, time, and location of the offense. Sub D, be in heat and not be confined in an enclosure to the property of its owner or keeper. Sub E is reserved. Article 2, the Code of the City of Monroe, Article 2, Section 10 is hereby amended by adding the following section. Section 10-45.1. Maximum number of dogs and cats. Sub A, dogs. Following restrictions apply to the maximum number of dogs that may be possessed or kept on any residential property based on the area of the lot. Other applicable regulations, including the city zoning ordinance, shall still apply and should be consulted for restrictions on locations of shelters and enclosures and other restrictions. Kennels, as defined therein, are regulated under the zoning ordinance. Sub 1, parcels larger than 2 acres. On any residential property that is larger than 2 acres, there shall be no restriction on the number of dogs allowed to be possessed or kept, provided all other applicable provisions of this chapter are obeyed. However, any such property that contains more than 6 dogs shall be required to maintain those animals in an enclosure at least 100 feet from the nearest property line. Sub 2, larger than 1 acre but equal to or less than 2 acres. On any residential property that is larger than 1 acre but equal to or less than 2 acres, regardless of the designated zoning of said property, it shall be unlawful to possess or keep more than 6 dogs. Sub 3, equal to or less than 1 acre. On any residential property that is equal to or less than 1 acre, it shall be unlawful to possess or keep more than 3 dogs. Multifamily units. Sub 4, for any unit in a multifamily development, for example, apartments, condominiums, townhomes, mobile home parks, duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, or similar, it shall be unlawful to possess or keep more than 3 dogs. The overall acreage of the development or of the property shall not control. Sub B, cats. The following restrictions shall apply to the maximum number of cats that may be kept on any residential property based on the area of the lot. Other applicable regulations, including the city zoning ordinance, shall still apply and should be consulted for restrictions on location of shelters and enclosures and other restrictions. Sub 1, parcels larger than 2 acres. On any residential property that is larger than 2 acres, there shall be no restriction on the number of cats permitted, provided other provisions of this chapter are obeyed. Sub 2, equal to or less than 2 acres. On any residential property that is equal to or less than 2 acres, it shall be unlawful to possess or keep more than 6 cats. Sub 3, multifamily units. For any dwelling unit in a multifamily development, it shall be unlawful to possess or keep more than 6 cats. The overall acreage of the development of property shall not control. Sub C, other provisions. Sub 1, the limit on dogs and cats are independent. For example, one-half acre parcel would allow up to 6 dogs and up to 6 cats. Sub 2, in instances where a new litter of cats or dogs causes a violation of this section, the new litter shall be exempt from the provisions herein for up to 12 weeks from the date of birth. Sub D, definitions. For the purposes of this section, residential property shall mean any property zoned to a residential classification under the city zoning ordinance, or any property containing or authorized to contain residential dwelling units. Sub 2, possess or keep shall mean owning, maintaining, or raising, or otherwise keeping such animals on the premises. Article 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith or hereby repealed. Article 4, this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the mayor and council of the city of Monroe, Georgia. This constitutes the second reading. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. That's the second reading, so the ordinance is before the council. Need a motion?
I
Motion
move
to
adoption.
approve.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lee. I'll second.
Okay.
Ms. Malcolm.
Ms. Malcolm. Mr. Bradley, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the second reading of the garbage collection ordinance amendment. Mr. Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance to amend the City of Monroe, the Code of the City of Monroe, Georgia, with respect to solid waste and for other purposes. The Mayor and the Council of the City of Monroe, Georgia hereby ordain as follows. Article 1, Code of the City of Monroe is hereby amended by deleting Article 1, Section 82-7 in its entirety and substituting the following in lieu thereof. Section 82.7, garbage collection procedures. All owners, occupants, tenants, and lessees of buildings and premises to whom services from the city for the collection and disposal of garbage are offered shall comply with the following procedures. Sub 1, the person having authority to control the disposal of garbage in any household premises or building shall cause all garbage collected therein to be placed in approved containers provided by the city solid waste department. Sub 2, all such containers shall be placed in normal locations so long as said locations are no closer to the curb than the frontmost wall of the building nearest to the property line until pushed to the curb not earlier than 5 p.m. on the day before the date of collection. Plastic bags may be placed at curbside alongside rollout containers. Dates and times of collections and collection procedures shall be set forth in the Solid Waste Department garbage collection guidelines after being approved by the Mayor and Director of Solid Waste. No such container or plastic bag shall be placed in the street except on the shoulders or areas not reserved for vehicular travel. No such container or plastic bag shall be placed on the sidewalk. Sub 3, provision shall be made to exempt occupants who are physically unable to push their containers to the curb. Sub 4, exemption forms are available upon request at the city clerk's office. Sub 5, after collection by the solid waste department of the garbage within any container, all containers placed at curbside shall be promptly removed from the street right-of-way to their normal locations, so long as said locations are no closer to the curb than the frontmost wall of the building nearest to the property line. By the person having authority to control the disposal of garbage in any household premises or building. Any person responsible for any such container not removed by 5 p.m. on the day following the day the garbage container was emptied by the solid waste department shall be deemed to be in violation of this section. Sub 6, poisons, acids, caustics, explosives, or other hazards or dangerous materials, soils, or any type of construction materials and furniture shall not be placed in any container provided for garbage. Article 2, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Article 3, this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the Mayor and Council of the City of Monroe, Georgia. This constitutes the second reading of the ordinance, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. That is the second reading for this ordinance, and it is now before the council. So I need a motion.
Motion to approve. I have a question. No, just in the event that a citizen's not adhering to those guidelines, what's the process? Is the code office called by sanitation and then they're spoken to and reminded and then maybe given one? Opportunity to correct and then a citations issue?
Yes, ma'am. It falls into just like the other ordinance violations.
Right,
They'll be given, a citation on the second offense.
Yeah, generally speaking, what we do is speak to them first, so it's not the issue of repair cleanup order, but then that's the second thing. Repair cleanup order is still not a citation. At that point, if there's no compliance, then it would be a citation. Okay. At the same time, we go for the original complaint. We'll put a door hanger on their premises if they're not home. Notify them of the violation and how to.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Had a motion by Ms. Dixon to have a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Malcolm. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the approval for the 2014 concert series contracts for DDA.
Yes, Mr. Vice Mayor, these are just the contracts that we discussed last week. We sent them over to the attorney's office.
We reviewed them, they're in order.
And these are the bands for the summer concert series. We went from 5, cut that back down to really 3. There's a 4th band coming, but it's at a discounted rate since there was a rain out last year.
Okay, we
Do you need a motion for this as a total or each individual?
They could be approved as a whole. And if for some reason that motion failed, then you can take them up individually.
Okay. I move that the contracts be approved as presented.
Second. Have a motion by Mr. Bradley. Second by Mr. Richardson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion of draft code ordinance.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'll take that. Mayor and Council, as you know, we've been working hard on getting a draft new code of ordinances for our zoning code. Mr. Kelly with the code office has worked tirelessly on this and has been doing a great job. We posted the draft code after our February, let's see, we're in March, let me get this right, all these snow days. We posted the draft code online for the public's review after our first called meeting, first week of February, so it's been up now for over a month. We wanted to make sure that it was out there for folks to be able to see. And what we want to do next is go ahead and have some town hall meetings where myself will be present, Mr. Kelly will be present, any of the mayor and council. Are invited as well to attend, and all of the public are invited to attend as well to discuss the draft code of ordinances. Those dates for our workshops, and we'll be posting these online with city staff as well as running an ad in the paper for these. We'll be having a workshop for the draft code on April the 3rd. That's a Thursday evening here in City Hall in Council Chambers at 6 p.m. We'll do another one April 5th. /15, 6 p.m. That is a Tuesday evening. And there may be a planning and zoning meeting that evening. If so, we'll just make it a work session of the planning and zoning meeting. And then again on April 24th, which is also a Thursday evening at 6 p.m. So 3 town hall meetings that are basically all right at a month out or so that everyone can have ample time to come to them if they'd like. That, like I said, the draft of the code of ordinances is online. It's still a subject to further revision, tweaking as we gather input from the citizens and stakeholders and staff, as well as you, mayor and council. And then, assuming that there are no bumps in the road, which we don't anticipate, then we would expect to then come before you. We'll have to do some additional legal advertising during the month of April, and we would expect to come before you with a first reading at the May meeting, which would be May 13th, and second reading at the June meeting, which would be June 10th. So adoption would go into effect either June 10th, or we might want to contemplate delaying it to July 1. That'll be something for discussion for you folks to decide. So that is the schedule. That is the path that we are on, working through getting the Code of Ordinances in place, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have about that.
And how are you going, besides this meeting, how are you going to let the public know that it is online for review?
Well,
and about these meetings?
We're going to run an ad in the paper.
Okay.
We're also going to get it on the channel, is it 16? Channel 16. We'll get with city staff to make sure that it's on channel 16. It's already on the website in terms of here's the draft, and then in the next day or two, we'll go ahead and post these meetings. We'll do official notice once we get closer. There won't be an official action taken, but we will run an ad in the paper for official notice as well. Then we'll have to also run some official notice in regards to the actual first and second readings for May and June. So there'll be an assortment of notices going out about.
We'll also put it on social media, Facebook,
Good.
Twitter
Okay.
as well. So.
And what was the first meeting?
April 3rd, which is the first Thursday in April. April 15th, which is a Tuesday, and April 24th, which is a Thursday, all at 6 p.m., all here in council chambers at City Hall.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Next item is discussion and approval of the 2014 RFP for recycling services. You can take that.
I will. Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. We, what we discussed last week, we just want your approval to put out an RFP to see if we can save money on recycling services that are being offered by the city of Monroe. Currently, we obviously do that in-house, and we just want to put it out to bid to see if we can save money. You've seen the tonnage. If you look on the first page of the RFP, just a few highlights. You see that the tonnage has dropped basically. So we're about 18%. People that are participating for recycling services. We'd like to see that double, because what that does is that keeps tonnage out of our transfer station, which then reduces our fees for the transfer station. So that's the whole idea here. And if Danny had anything to offer, we plan on putting this out this week, actually, if it's approved. The city attorneys have approved it as well. And
we reviewed the RFP and it's in order.
We can take any questions if you had any about the RFP. We'll be, posting it on our website, posting it through GMA, through the paper, so there'll be ample media outlets that contractors can receive a bid package. So.
I have two questions. One is on section 6.1,
okay.
Single dwelling unit. We're in the scope of services for them. We're saying that there's 5,279 buildings that they need to pick up recycle from.
Right. That is
shouldn't we have a thing so if somebody builds a new house that gets included? Because I don't see that in here. It looks like it is limited to the current building.
Right, and that'll be in the whole process of, you know, they'll understand that if a new house obviously comes in, they'll have the option to sign up or not sign up for recycling services, and we'll put a bin out there. But yeah, they'll, you know, we'll notify the company should we decide to go this route of
So
the
you
new
don't think
houses.
that needs to be an RFP? Maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, and we, you know, again, this number, and Danny, you can explain it better, but this number is basically a number that you just is an estimate of the buildings that we pick up. So that's the number they're bidding on.
Okay. The other question I had is on, right down below there, 6.1 point. Let's see, let me get the right place here. Somewhere it talks about, or maybe it's the same paragraph. But it says that they'll pick up containers that are on curbside before 6:30 a.m. on collection day. So is it the intent that we tell everyone they have to have recycles out prior to 6:30 in the morning?
Are you looking in?
I'm looking at 6.1.1.
Yeah, and all of them below that say.
Yeah, I don't understand why we're requiring that to be out before 6:30 unless they're gonna have trucks out there somewhere.
Well, that, I mean, we do.
Yeah, it's. It's in concert with our regular schedule now, and they had to have it out by that time, in between that time. It's really not saying that you have to have it out.
So currently we pick up before
That's the schedule.
6:30?
6:30 is the schedule, not before, but the schedule is 6:30, that's when we actually get on the route, at 6:30.
Okay, thankfully you don't come to my house that early.
Well, I mean, and probably the reasoning for that is in the summer months, you know, we're trying to get that route done before, you know, it's 95 degrees outside, so we can, you know, get our guys in and just take care of them from a health perspective.
So what, I guess, then that's fine if that's what the policy is, but that means we need to encourage people to put out their recycles the night before rather than the day off. Which doesn't help with the other part we've got as far as appearance of things, but.
Not before 5:30.
Is this going to remain the same day as trash service?
Yeah, it'll be the same schedule, and it's part of the amended. Red, you have to set it out 5 o'clock. You can go. So that's our schedule.
Okay. And I just wanted to follow up with what Scott said. That was my third question on here, because it doesn't say that anywhere in RFP that they're required to do this on the same day that our garbage service is done. Because I think but I would hope that we would have that as part of the requirement for the vendors to do that. Because we don't want to ask people to put out stuff twice or 2 different days.
So you're saying you want to add that it'd be a requirement that the contractor should we go this route, that they pick up on the same day? Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same schedule we have.
Right.
Matthew, how many companies do you think will bid on it?
I know back in 2012, we had 6, Danny?
Yes, 6.
5 or 6 companies
plenty,
that bid on it. And that's your normal.
usually your normal response.
I would like to commend y'all that put the RFP together on the things that are inclusive that they have to pick up. That's a significant improvement over what we currently do.
And I think since the last time this was done, there's been, you know, Danny could probably talk more about single stream, you know, recycling, but, you know, it's easier for the customer if we can put it all in one bin and not have to sort.
Yeah, yes, you can get more material for collection instead of sorting it out. It's time consuming, labor intensive to sort. So that's the whole idea. On a single stream, we can get more material at a faster rate.
And really, does this require them to provide containers for the recycling?
Yes.
And what size would those containers that they have to provide?
Not to exceed 65 gallons. So between 18 and 65 gallons, you have the luxury of choosing the size.
And what is the one we have now?
The 18 gallon.
So if people want to keep the 18, they can.
Yeah, that could be an option. Yes.
Or they can have a larger. Okay.
Are there any more questions or discussion? Hearing none, I call for a motion to approve us sending out the RFP.
I motion that we approve this to be let for recycling services.
With the additions?
With the addition.
Okay, have a motion by Ms. Scott. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Purvis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. With no further business, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Malcolm, second by Mr. Richardson. All in favor? Aye. Motions and meeting adjourned.
Then you know, look at this website. This is Georgia, sir.